Hi Orla. So I just wanted to show you how to use the two documents I did. So the first thing is they're going to be in your Google Drive account, and I don't know whether you actually have a Google Drive account at this stage or whether you're going to end up using Niles or what, but we'll figure that out later. But to get into your Google account, eventually it's going to be you can either just make sure you're logged in here, or you can and then you can go down here, and there's Drive is usually in here or under More somewhere, or you can just search Google Drive. I don't know, maybe you already use Google Drive, but so once you're logged in and go to Google Drive, actually I've never been here, but I'm just nose your way around. Yeah, there, that's me. So that's my Google Drive. So if I just put this on pause and find the folder. Okay, so I found the two files. In your case, they're going to be in the shared with me folder. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the originals and share them with you. And also I'm going to make it so that you're not able to change them. And the reason for that is to lock them, because there's, it's not a very good system. Well, it's good. It's a brilliant system actually for free, but compared to, a professional design system, it's not that good. So there's a lot of stuff I can't do. And long story short, if I give them to you in the original, they'd be very easily broken. So you're going to have them like this, like pretend that these are in your shared folder, that these are the ones that I've given you. And what you want to do is right click on it and make a copy of the one you want. And that's just because you're not going to be able to change the original. So you can, it's a safe copy essentially. This one here, the original, is a safe copy. This is your new one. So now then the next thing you're going to do is rename that to whatever you want it to be. So it's, add for blah, 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 event, right? And then now you can change this all you want, and it'll be the same with the other one. So we've got two of these. We've got, I'll just open them up. You've got this, which is the A5 portrait, which is, you probably know your page sizes, but that's the full size page in that small booklet. And the other one then is the A6 landscape, which is, even though it looks bigger on the screen there, that's half the size of the other one. So, so this is the one. So let's suppose I've decided to use this one. I've made a copy of it and, open it up, and we're going to change this. So you can change whatever you want here, and it's not going to change your original template, because I'm going to have the original template anyway. So, and, if you want to change its original template made, that can be done, or if you want to do it a different way or whatever. But anyway, so, we're in Google Drawing here then. So you've gone from Google Drive into Google Drawing, just in case you're wondering what's going on. So I'm not going to explain everything here. Probably a lot of it you'd know anyway, but, let's just start with the easy stuff. So this, if you're going to change this text down here, for instance. So, the first thing that you might want to check is your zoom levels. So, that can be really important in a drawing program, so it can drive you nuts. So that's another thing, by the way, when you're doing this, you don't want to, it's not that it's more complicated than Microsoft Word or anything, but it's just, there's a lot of things that can go skew ways and you could end up tearing your hair out. So, don't sort of try and do this in a hurry if you can help the first time you do it. So, the zoom is kind of, the handiest way to zoom is click on that and just draw a rectangle around where you want to, zoom to. And that will do that. And then to go back to the basics, it's up here, and just, fit is Control Alt, square bracket, left square bracket brings you back to there. So, also, when you're zoomed in, then your shift and scroll, Alt and scroll will scroll you up and down, and shift and scroll will scroll you right and left. It's just, there's not that much to scroll here. That's as far as it goes. So, scroll wheel, I mean by scroll. So they can be really important in a drawing program, just in case you're, going nuts looking for them. But I'm sure you'll figure your way around anyway, but you want to click on this. So, what's important to remember is everything's an element. So this is an element, this is an element. So you have to know which element you're you're selected. So you could be selecting two elements by accident. So I've selected this element here and this element here. And I did that by holding down the shift key and clicking two of them. So if I click there and click here, I'm selecting all those elements, and I can do control click to unselect certain elements if I want either. So if I select this and if I select this and this and this, then I can control click on the middle one, and now I've just selected this guy and this guy. Anyway, it's really important to know what's selected, because otherwise if you do anything, it'll move everything. Just remember as well, you've got an undo, so that's one of the best things as regards going backwards. So it might sound all a bit fussy, but it's really just to stop you from sort of tearing your hair out, because if you're not used to these things, then everything can move really fast and you don't know what happened, and it's impossible to put it back, which is the other reason for renaming it and giving yourself a copy of the original, because that way you can always throw this in the bin and start again. So this is probably again the element that you're going to want to use the most, change the most, because obviously it's going to change. So obviously I can just double click in here, control A, or select it however way you want to do it, and I can just change that to whatever text I want. It's built for a single line, it's built for a double line. It's built for a double line, but you can change that by, for moving, see the way it's now too high. So, that's the other thing to try and master, is you click on it, and you can, depending on where you hover, you've got that guy there, and he can move it wherever he wants. And this is why you have to really be careful that you've got what you've got selected, or otherwise you'll be moving more things than you plan on moving. But so I can just bring that, it was there, and I could just bring it down here to something like that. You notice that red line in the middle, that's just to keep it from, that will tell me when it's centered. And other lines will tell me whether it's, see, like that line on the left here, if you look over here, it's aligned up with the telephone icon there. So I can bring it down to here and put it here, and it's centered with, actually, that's centered, I think, and this is lined up with the www, this guy here, or something like that. But you can do that, but what's usually a better thing to do, is to click on it so it's selected, and hold down just use the down arrows, and it'll go down in steps, or up in steps. That way it's not going to get out of alignment. And if you want to, then you can hold down shift, and it'll move in tiny little steps. So I'm just constantly clicking the up and down buttons, so you can put it exactly where you want. So other than that, it's just changing the text. This guy is going to make it longer, so you could align that up with this, and this, align this up with this, and you can put whatever you want in here. If you want to, you could do things like line this up here and put, if you needed to put 3 lines into it or something like that, you could just make the font smaller. But you will start eating into the design. You'll start to kind of notice it. So the less you do, the better, really, with these kind of things. Unless you have a reason to, or something like that. Just go back through all the undos to put it back, but it doesn't really matter anyway. So okay, forget that. Sorry. Now you're probably not going to need to change anything else. But it's possible you might want to do something. So you just have to, it's just figure it out yourself, kind of. Like if you wanted to add in another bit into this, you can just make this guy small, or add in more here, click on it, move it up a bit, and, make your text a different font or something like that. So you can do that kind of stuff too. But if you move something by accident, it's another thing. Like if you're just doing this and the mouse slips and this moves, obviously undo is your best. But, well, no, that is really all that you're going to need to do, because I was going to start getting, showing you how to line things up again and all that. But actually, like, they're hard to get them lined up. Like those it took ages to line those up, believe it or not. And they're not even 100% as it is. But, you can you can move stuff around the place, but really try and, whether it's by accident or on purpose, just try to do as little as possible, because the more you do, the further away it gets from the design. Of course, you could spend all night practicing with this and you'd be a bit of an expert on it after a few hours anyway, so you'd know how to do your own stuff on it. So anything else then, right? So obviously, if you want, suppose you've got your document done and you want to, yeah, I just tell you the elements that are in it. So, oh yeah, sorry, I did think of something else to say. I'll tell you the elements. This is, an element. This is an element. These are two separate elements. These are two, again, separate. This border is an element. This is a background is an element. This text is an element, and this bottom border. And there's one more, and that's the background. And the background, if I move the background a bit there, and this might confuse you, I'd rather remember this, that checker pattern there, that means that it's transparent. So if you printed it onto a red page, for instance, or a black page, or if you printed it onto red or black page or whatever, then the color of the background will come through. So sometimes that's important. That's why I put this here, to keep it white. But now I can line that back. See, I've grabbed the wrong one, and that's the kind of thing that can happen to you. So undo is your best friend there, and then grab the right one, and I can line that up if it sort of snaps in place, and just be careful that it goes to the actual top. So you kind of need the background there, but in the ideal world I would have locked that background element, but I can't. It doesn't have the capacity to do it. But you could, of course, get rid of that background element if for some reason you wanted the actual text to, or the background color of the page to show through. But these ones here, this guy and this guy, they've actually, if you look closely there's actually a white background on that guy, and the same with this. So you would run into some problems with that. So be aware of that. But what's important also to realize, that I was saying a minute ago, is the arrange. So if I've got that element there and I right click on it, and I can go to, it's called order in this one. So if I click, I can send it back through the elements, because there's a stacking order to all these things, and this is the background and this is in front of it. But if I right click here and I send it, one back or to the back, I see, obviously I needed to go more than one back there is what that is. So I'll just go the whole way to the back, is what this one does, and it disappears. And I can't get that element anymore. So to do that, if undo wasn't working for you, you just move this guy out of the way and right click on this guy and order, set and bring to front, and then I can bring back my my background. So to be honest with you, really, you're probably just going to be, copying it and making a new name for it and changing this, and that's all you're going to be doing. But all that other stuff, I've kind of put that in there just in case you get a bit lost. But so to get it out then to the final destination, you'd go to the file menu and download as PDF, and just give it a title if you have to, and save it. And this really should do for any printer. This is the PDF output that I made of it. That should do for pretty much any printer anywhere, as far as I know. Now, we haven't gotten into bleeds, but I don't think you need to worry about bleeds. Bleeds are where this will go over the edge of the document and it gets cut off by the guillotine of the press. But if anybody says anything to you about bleeds, just say there's no bleeds, or you're not worried about it, because unless you are or something like that. But I think those documents in that Chalk Tom book, they weren't really worrying about. They just had a margin around the whole thing, so it shouldn't really be a problem. So anything else that I need to... Yeah, you can share these with other people if you want to. You can, a shareable link and send it to somebody, and then I can turn this on, and now I can... Sharing settings is what it is, and they can view it or they can edit it. So you just need to set it up that way, depending on how you want. That's if Trish or somebody wanted to do it on her computer instead, you could just share it with her. Other than that, just give me a shout if you want me to change any of these or something like that. Okay.